Hey guys, Duke DeLate here for a very special edition of Pickup Daily. I'm here with my buddy Brian from class at BaamAnxiety. His channel's right there or something. And he's a trainer in training with me at The Attractive Man, as well as he runs his own psychology channel, right?
Yeah.
And we got a question from the list of glory today. It says, how do I deal with broken promises? We're going to talk about this and a little related stuff on this episode of Pickup Daily. Yeah, so how do I deal with broken promises? Broken promises, what that question to me kind of means, I'm feeling betrayal.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'd like to figure out how to deal with my thoughts on that stuff. What's your experience of the feelings of betrayal in your life? And through your psych study, like, if you had to give a quick tip, because these things are only 4 or 5 minutes long.
Got you. So basically what has happened is I've made the broken promises, right? So
okay.
I experienced it from the other perspective. My experience with like feeling of betrayal has always been that I've always felt like people don't want me around them. So I feel like that's a betrayal, because like I'll commit to doing plans with them or something like that, and they'll flake. And like it's something that I wouldn't do to them. So it's anything that people do to me that I wouldn't do to them that I feel like it's a betrayal.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And how do you deal with betrayal?
I really just don't care about it. I feel like everybody has their own reasons, and there's probably a good reason why they're doing it, and if not, then I forgive them for being human.
Sure. Yeah. That's kind of a real simple way to look at it. Just stop giving a fuck, right? Betrayal for me, you know, the root of that feeling, you know, getting lied to, it's a human quality to lie to people. We've all lied to somebody about something, tried to manage our impression or whatever, but at the end of the day, humans are humans and we make mistakes. And so generally, when I get something that I feel that harsh feeling of betrayal on, I set a boundary. I definitely say, oh, look, I can't have this happen, you know, consistently. This is, you know, if I feel this more, we're going to have to change the bounds of our relationship, because we can't be doing this. But at the same time, I respect their need to be human and act in whatever their way, in whatever they needed to. And so I say, you know, I'm sure you did that for a very good reason. I just can't have you do that again to me. Like, we can't do whatever. And that's how I set my boundaries. And we have another video on boundary setting that you can see here, and it's over there somewhere. Maybe it's right here. I don't know. And it's important to be able to enforce boundaries when you set them. Otherwise, you're going to be feeling the same emotions over and over and over again. But the people in my life know that when I set things like that, they can choose, you know, how to treat me and how to not. And you can really only manage how you act. So I would say that, you know, dealing with a feeling of betrayal is, you know, basically tell the other person not to do that again. Mm-hmm. Explain why, figure out where you're coming from. Maybe meet them on their human level and figure out why they did that and why they felt the need to do that, and kind of unpack that. And using that kind of communication can really help you grow as a relationship. Secondly, promises, broken promises, it seems you need to be very clear about what that means. Yeah. Like you were saying earlier, that if somebody made plans with you and flaked on you, that's betrayal, right? It's a broken promise. And in a sense, it is. But I know many people who would interpret flaking as kind of a low-level offense. Yeah. Right? And I guess you do now. But
yeah, for sure.
Whereas a broken promise, like, I promise not to have sex with other people now that we're married, that's a much larger betrayal.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? It's like...
next level.
Not giving a fuck about whether your wife is cheating on you is probably not The best strategy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it's contextual. Your mileage may vary.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody's different.
But I would say pay attention to the humanity of the situation and kind of put yourself in their shoes. And if you truly wouldn't allow that kind of behavior in your life and you never do something like that to somebody else and you can't empathize, then you should probably not be in a relationship with that person.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
It's true.
Any other thoughts on broken promises, betrayal, anything like that?
We touched on the subject of like how to keep that. Like if we were gonna make a promise, it's just being realistic with yourself. You know, it's kind of like having your own expectations about yourself. Like, do you really think you're gonna commit to this? You know, like for example, I had a situation where it's kind of like you'll go overseas, and you'll try not to sleep with someone. You know what I'm saying? But like, can you really promise that? Like that you're not gonna like end up meeting like the most amazing person that you met like overseas and like you end up having like this great experience and like you end up being at the same place at the same time and you're like naked and then you're like, no, you know, does that really happen often? No, but when it does, like, can you withhold yourself from doing that? So it's being realistic with that. Like if you feel like you might be tempted, then just be honest about that. So it's being honest.
Yeah, sure. The way to not betray people is don't make promises you can't keep.
Yeah, for sure. So that's pretty much it. I mean, in terms of promises, I've broken more promises than I've actually had other people break promises.
Mm-hmm. But you're getting better with that on a day-to-day.
Oh yeah,
you know
for sure.
yourself a lot better.
Oh yeah. I definitely have raised my standard and have deviated from people that influence me to break my promises, right? And of course, I know how it feels to see that person hurt, and that's definitely just not something that I like.
Awesome. Empathize with the pain.
Yeah, man.
Well, we answer questions like this every damn day on Pickup Daily. Check out his channel over here.
BaamAnxiety. BAAM Anxiety.
And check out my worldwide tour around. He'll probably be joining us on future boot camps, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And
I'll be in Vegas for sure.
Yeah, the link's down there. Anyways, thanks, Brian, for joining us. See you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
Stay awesome.
Close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us. Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.